Hello, friends, and welcome to today's episode of Vibrate Higher. I am your host, Joelle, founder of Zenergy Group. Thank you so much for joining me today. My goal today is for this episode to give you some perspective into a key ingredient to creating and manifesting anything that you want. We're going to talk today about the concept of being the energy that you want to attract, of actually being the person that you want to attract, the energy you want to attract in any area of your life. We are going to break this concept down, and I'm going to also show you ways that you can incorporate this into your lifestyle organically, so this becomes a natural part of how you operate every day in your self-development journey and on your quest to self-mastery. If you are in your ascension era, you are in your glow up, you have been walking your self-development path, you feel like things are going better than they were, you're seeing things come to fruition, you're feeling good, and now you really want to up level your life. You want to put a battery pack, you want to put a baby rocket on the back of your back and just take off and manifest bigger, more. You're looking for ways to do it, tools. What are the secrets to do this? This episode is for you. Also, if you just experienced what some would call a blow, maybe you lost your job, or you had a breakup, or you had a health scare, you had to let go of a friend or a family member to protect your peace, and you're trying to figure out how on earth can I attract better people around me, better friends, more genuine relationships, improve the relationships that I do have. This episode is for you, my friend. Being the energy that you want to attract is something you have probably heard before. If you are not careful and if you are not conscious, you can hear that and think that that means something very surface. Meaning, like, if I want a relationship and I want someone who keeps themselves up and always looks nice, then I need to keep myself up and always look nice. I need to keep my hair done, my nails done. Yeah, sure. But this concept goes so much deeper than that. And that is why I wanted to devote a podcast episode to it. Let me give you an example in my own personal life. So when I really started understanding and delving into this concept was around relationships. So I dealt with worthiness issues, meaning feeling like I grew up feeling like I was not enough. That stemmed from daddy issues. My parents got divorced when I was really young. I had to manage those relationships with my mom and dad separately. My dad showed love to me the way that he knew, which was he was always hard on me. He was always hard on me in a way where I felt like I always had to be perfect. So nothing was ever good enough. Every time I brought him a report card, it was like, you don't have all A's. You got an A minus. It was always something. I graduated from college. He didn't want to come to my graduation because I didn't go straight through and get my master's. Like, it's that type of stuff. So when you grow up with that type of relationship with your opposite sex parent, it's going to affect what you think about yourself and how you move in your love romantic relationships later down the line. And that is exactly what it did. So unbeknownst to me, I was walking around with a worthiness issue of feeling like I was never good enough for like the love of a man, so to speak. So I would always find myself in situations where I was trying to always prove that I was good enough. Like I needed like that pat on the head I needed the woo 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 from my partner. And because I wasn't giving it to myself, I would attract a partner who highlighted that in me all the time, who constantly pointed out, you're not good enough. You didn't do that right. You could have done that. So here is my story. This is when the light bulb went off on me that shit needed to change. So I was dating someone. This was eons ago. I was much younger. Money was tight. I was paying my bills and trying to just, survive and live a little bit when I could. We used to walk past this store all the time that had this art, this picture, this canvas like skyline of our city's downtown. It was a really nice, beautiful picture. We used to see it all the time. And I knew that my boyfriend at the time really liked the picture because we would talk about it. It was a nice picture, but it was not cheap. So, we kept it moving. Christmas time rolls around. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get him this gift. So I scrape my last dollars together to get him this picture. And I was so excited about it. Christmas morning rolls around. I pull this picture out. I am so excited because I am so ready for my pat on the head because I did something good. You love it. And I'm so excited to give it to you. And I remember he looks at the picture. He takes this deep breath in and then he breathes out like he's so frustrated. And he goes, oh, there's a mark on this picture. Now, the picture was a canvas picture. Someone literally painted a white canvas and the picture was dark, like red and black and gold. So on the part that was painted black, it looked like maybe the paintbrush just missed a part of it. So, I mean, the size of maybe like a half of my thumbprint was white on the picture, on the top of the canvas, guys. He literally looked at that picture and said, there's a spot here and you didn't even have the decency to color it in. You could have colored that in with a black Sharpie. That is what he told me. I had scraped my last dollars to get this picture for him as a gift. And what did I get? My mirror of worthiness, of unworthiness back to me. I got the you aren't good enough back to me because truly that's the energy I was giving. That's who I was. That is how I felt about myself deep down. So I attracted a partner who continually did that. Now there were other little micro versions of that weren't, you could easily, if you are going on life with that issue, you wouldn't even really notice it. But this one, I noticed, and that feeling that came over me, of just hurt, it took me back to all of those conversations that I used to have with my dad, all the lectures of you didn't get an A, you got a B, you didn't go get your master's, you didn't do this, you should have done it this way. All of that compounded on me and I couldn't take it. That led me on this path of self-discovery because I knew something's got to give. And so I started learning everything that I could. And I uncovered being the energy that you want to attract was so important. It wasn't until I understood that concept and started actually doing the things I'm going to outline today that I started to change and attract better. I let go of the unworthiness that I was feeling inside. I had to do a lot of inner work on that. I let go of the victim mindset of blaming my partner for the reason that I feel this way. Well, you said this. And granted, he shouldn't have said it. It was an asshole thing. But I had to take my responsibility in that is how I thought of myself. And I can only get back the energy that I give out. The minute that I started working on myself, understanding this concept and putting it to use is when I started attracting better. I became a better, stronger, more confident and healed version of myself. And that is what I want for you. So let's start unpacking this concept bit by bit so that you can truly understand it. So first, we need to go into what energy is and attraction is based on the concept of like self-development and manifesting things. So I'm not going to give you all the scientific stuff. I think if you listen to my podcast, you probably kind of understand that concept a little bit. I'm going to give it to you in my language. Energy and attraction boils down to this. What you give out is what you get back. Period. Point blank, 100% of the time. Not what you say, what you give out, what you focus on, what you give your attention to in terms of your thoughts, what you feel, and what you believe. What you give out based on how you think, feel, and believe, that creates an energy. that is what you are going to attract back. So for me, I believed, although it was wrong, I believed that I was not worthy. I was unworthy. I was not enough. So what did I get back? I got back a person that highlighted that, who he was my mirror to that every other day. This can show up in so many different forms, guys. So let's take it outside of the relationship realm. I'm going to give you two other examples because I want this to pop for you in your mind. Some people have a belief that you have to work hard for money. Money does not grow on trees. You got to work hard. If you want to earn money, you got to work for it. You got to hustle. You got to work hard. When that is your belief, that is how you focus on money. That's what you believe about earning money. I've got to work hard. Not I have to work. I have to work hard for money in order for it to come to me. When you have that belief, what happens? You attract jobs that require hard work out of you. I'm talking about hard, like manual labor or like crazy deadlines that are so hard to meet that you got to work long hours and overtime. You have no time to spend with your family. You don't even have time to spend the money you're earning because you are so busy working hard. You have demanding projects that stress you out, that take so much out of you because your belief is that you have to work hard, and that's what you give. That's the energy that you give off. That's the belief, that's the thought, that's the feeling about working and earning it, working in exchange for dollars. And that is what you manifest. You draw in opportunities that prove that belief over and over again. Just like Henry Ford said in his quote, whether you think you are or you think you aren't, you're right. You're right either way. So whether you believe that you have to work hard for money or you believe that you don't, you're right either way, because you're going to manifest exactly what you think and believe and focus on. There are people who work less than you. For all my hard workers, working my finger to the boners, all that, I am willing to bet you there are people on this planet that work less time than you and make more money than you, probably way more money than you, with the same qualifications. Guaranteed it happens. It boils down to belief in energy. Last example, we'll take a health example. I know someone who had a belief that doctors are not good. They suck. So every time you would talk to her, it would be like, oh, I was at the doctor today, and the medical profession, the healthcare industry is this, and now all they want to do is get you in and spend 5 minutes. They rush you. They don't remember who you are. It's not personable. They're rushing through things. They're missing key details. They're saying they're going to do stuff they're not going to do. Now you got to always follow up with them. And when you go into the hospital, it's always something going on. Like every time you would talk to her, there would be something going on. Like, this surgery, she did a very simple outpatient thing. There were all these complications that are like the rare 1% of what could happen is going to happen. Every doctor's appointment, there's drama. They told her the wrong day. She showed up. She wasn't supposed to be there. She got there. The doctor was running late. She had to wait an hour. I mean, it is just the stuff that never happens to hardly anyone else happened to her. It wasn't until we sat down and I'm like, sis, look at yourself. Like, you had to point that out, and finally she was able to work through it. But until then, she was getting what she gave out. You give out the belief that the health industry is screwed, doctors suck, they rush you, they this, they that. She got that back every single time. So that's what energy is and attraction is, along with some examples. Energy is what you give is what you get. Everything is energy. Let's break it down a little further. The law of vibration. In order to truly understand the concept of being the energy that you want to attract, which is the key ingredient to getting everything you want, you have to understand the law of vibration. Not to be confused with the law of attraction. They are different, but they are intimately connected. The law of attraction is like attracts like. The law of vibration is everything in the universe is moving. It is vibrating. and it vibrates at a rate or a speed better known as a frequency. So every single thing around you is vibrating at a frequency. This chair that I'm sitting in is a frequency. It's lower than my frequency as a moving, living, breathing human, but it's still a frequency. So the chair is a lower, denser frequency. Me as the human sitting in the chair, I vibrate at a higher frequency. I'm constantly in motion, whereas this chair is not. It is, but it's so low and slow of a vibration. But we are all still vibrating. The chair, the desk, the car you're in, the pencil you're holding, all of it, everything stationary, your refrigerator, everything is vibrating at a frequency. Why is this important? I'm glad you asked. This is important because our thoughts are also vibrations. They are energy, because everything is. Thoughts are energy, which means they vibrate at a frequency as well. And so when you understand that, it's huge, because then you have power. You have leverage, because you can then control your thoughts, watch your thoughts, be aware of your thoughts. This is the visual way that I learned to understand vibrations. And this, I got this from Abraham Hicks, and it helped me, hoping it'll help you. So think about discs, like, the saucers that you put your teacup on, or like a disc, like people that are old enough to understand what CDs were, but think about like a disc, right? That's like spinning as fast as it can go. The chair that I'm sitting in that I was telling you about, that's vibrating at a lower vibration, if that was on a disc, it would be vibrating lower, like in terms of like height, it would be low. If my actual body that's higher vibration was a disc, it would be vibrating higher in the air than the chair, maybe 10 feet higher, who knows, whatever, but it's higher. That's the same thing with thoughts. So I like to refer to thoughts as, this is a high vibration thought, or I'm on a higher disc or a lower disc. Positive thoughts vibrate at a higher frequency than negative thoughts. That is why I call this podcast Vibrate Higher, because I want you to listen to this podcast and leave thinking positive thoughts. You have more perspective. You're vibrating higher. That is my goal for every one of you that listen to my podcast, that watch this podcast on YouTube. That is my goal for you, which is hence the name Vibrate Higher. So take a minute right now and just think about your life. Think about the four main areas: health, relationships, that could be friendships, that could be romantic. Think about what you do for a living, and think about your money, finances. Think about all of those areas. Is there something you have been wanting for a long time in one or more of those areas, and you just cannot seem to accomplish it? You just can't get it. You've been wanting a man, you've been wanting a committed relationship, you can't get it. You've been wanting a particular salary for so long, you've had this goal and you can't seem to manifest. You've been struggling with health concerns, and you just can't seem to really just get back on track and get healthy. If you're looking at these things, these areas of your life, and you just can't seem to get it, think about your thoughts about that thing or those things. What do you really think about them? How do you think about that thing? So if I want a particular salary, let's say I've had a goal and I want to make, $400,000 a year. I could set that as a goal every year, but what do I really think about this salary? Do I believe I can have it? What's my vibration? What thoughts am I vibrating at when it comes to money? Do I live in lack or scarcity, where I'm holding on to money because I'm scared to spend it, I'm scared to let it go? How am I approaching my thoughts about money is going to dictate my goals and how I'm accomplishing them around money. Same thing with a relationship. If I want to be in a committed relationship and I've been wanting that for so long and I just can't get it, how am I really thinking about relationships? What am I thinking on a daily basis about relationships? What do I really believe about relationships? Not what I tell myself, but what do I really think about it? Our thoughts are energy. Our thoughts are frequencies. They are vibrations, higher or lower. Here's the thing about thought. Let me hit you with some thought data. As humans, we think between 60,000 to 70,000 thoughts a day. So for this example, let's just say 60,000. We think 60,000 thoughts a day. Of those 60,000, 57,000 of those thoughts are the same thoughts. We think them over and over and over again. So out of 60,000 things that we think a day, 57,000 of those things we think about over and over and over. It could be a different thought about the same thing, but we're thinking about it repetitively. Of those 57,000 thoughts, guess how many of those are negative? 48,000 of the 57,000 are negative. So go back to the question I just asked you. Think about the areas of your life where you do not have what you really, really want and what you've been wanting for a long time. Because we all have something. What are you really thinking about that on a daily basis? I just gave you the studies. The data is here. 60,000 thoughts a day, 57,000 are repetitive, and of those, 48,000 are negative. So more than likely, the average person, you are thinking negatively about the things that you want, more so thinking about how you don't have them, why you don't have them, how you don't have them. It's because of that person you don't have it. It's because it's all of those things. Thoughts are energy. Thoughts are vibrations. They vibrate at a frequency. Positive thoughts, higher vibration. You attract things that match that higher vibration. Negative thoughts, lower vibration. You attract the things that match that negative vibration, that negative frequency, which is why the concept of being the energy that you want to attract is so important to understand when you are trying to create the things that you want. You have the power to do this, but you have to be aware of what it is and understand the concept so that you can actually change it. Now that you understand the concept of being the energy you want to attract, and you have a better understanding of what energy is in terms of attracting and thoughts and the law of vibration, let's talk about what you can do. First, identify your current energy. Look at where you are, just like we talked about. Look around. Look at the areas of your life. Like, do some self-reflection. Where are the areas that have gaps of I want this, but I don't have it? And not I just decided I wanted it yesterday. I've wanted this for a while and I don't have it. That lets you know you don't match the vibration, or you would have had it by now. And that triggers some people, including myself, because there are things that I want that I'm working towards that I don't have yet. But I bet you what, I know my thoughts around them, and I bet you I will have them. I bet you I'm working on that every single day. But we all have these things because we have beliefs that don't serve us. Our belief systems are formed by the time we are 7 years old. If we never touch those beliefs, if I never looked at that unworthiness issue that I had from my daddy issues, guess what? I would still be in a hamster wheel of relationships that end the same way the other ones were ending. I would, and I'd be blaming everybody else but me. So I suggest in identifying your energy, do an energy audit. And what I mean by that is watch your thoughts. From this day on, make it a habit of watching what you are thinking so that you can change it. Now that you're aware that thoughts are a vibration, notice how your body feels. Notice when you start to feel frustrated or tightness in your chest or whatever is whatever the response is in your body, notice it. Just notice. Even that is retraining your mind to be aware of it so that you can change it. So now when you start to feel anxious and you're tight and you're like thinking this and you're feeling bad, you immediately be like, I'm feeling anxious. I'm feeling weird. I don't feel, this isn't good. This doesn't feel good at all. You can't stop thinking. We're always going to be thinking, but you can change what you are thinking. You have the power to do that. And when you do that, you change your vibration, but it's going to take consistency. Your thoughts impact your feelings. How you feel impacts how you act, and how you act impacts what you get. We'll say that again. Your thoughts impact your feelings impact your actions, and your actions impact what you get. So make this energy audit a thing. Make time. Carve out, just even if it's 5 minutes of your day, keep a journal of like, I felt like this today. I felt like that today. Gosh, every day at lunch, I feel anxious or I feel free because I'm out of work. I can go out in the air. Like, okay, so that means when I'm at work, I feel really wound up and anxious. Like I need to pay more attention to that. Make it a thing. Do a check-in with yourself. Do an audit at the end of the day. How did I feel today? Oh, I felt pretty good most of the day. Good. That means it's working. Or I felt wound up here. I felt annoyed here. Like, start to really notice those things. That's step one, identifying your energy. This is how you can become the person, become the energy that you want to attract. Step one, identify your current energy. Step two, shift your energy. So how do you do that? I have 4 tips. Now, these are not the only ways. These are just ways that helped me, and hopefully they can help you. The first one is just being aware of your energy. So it's shifting your energy is awareness, understanding, and what I mean by that is not being aware like watch your thoughts, being aware like I have narrowed down that I have a gap here. I want a relationship and I am not in one right now. I am aware that I have some beliefs that are keeping me from that because I've been watching my thoughts. And now I have narrowed it down to understand that I feel like maybe I'm scared to welcome that relationship in because I feel like they don't last. Maybe I feel like I'm not good enough. Maybe I feel like you've watched your thoughts. Now you are aware of what the gaps are. That's the first way to start shifting the energy, start turning the ship in the water, is being aware of what the gap is. What is the issue? The second part of shifting your energy is devotion. Be devoted to your progress and the process forward in shifting it. You have to be devoted. We are devoted to so many things. What are you devoted to? Are you devoted to watching your Netflix shows or your Hulu shows every night? Are you devoted to scrolling through Instagram and TikTok and Facebook? You're devoted to something. You have to actually take action to reprogram in higher vibrational beliefs. So you can't just listen to this podcast and not do anything and think it's going to change. You have to actually do something. And the beautiful thing is it's all within you. You don't even this doesn't even cost anything. You can do this type of stuff throughout your entire day. You could watch your thoughts for free in a meeting, on your drive to work, while you're eating dinner. Like these are things that don't cost a thing. You just have to be devoted to actually changing. How bad do you want the thing that you don't have yet? Is it worth adopting this process and being devoted to actually changing it? Do you want it that bad? Probably. It just takes repetition and consistency. When you learn how to watch your thoughts and you can consistently do these things that we're going to talk about today, you will see a change. Okay, the third way to shift your energy, affirmations, positive affirmations. Affirmations will shift your energy, but you have to say them and mean them and find affirmations that actually feel good to you. So where I think a lot of people go wrong with affirmations is that you want to jump from one extreme to the other. So you want to be a millionaire, but you are now a thousandaire and you want to be a millionaire. And so you want to get up in the morning and say, I am a millionaire. I am a millionaire. No, you don't believe that right now. So you have to take a step. I call it stepping it out, but it's like a ladder or a bridge. You have to get there step by step. So maybe it's not, I am a millionaire, because that's so far from where you are right now. Your subconscious mind is like, no, not really. Then the affirmation is, I am working to become a millionaire. Maybe the affirmation is, I am open to giving and receiving financial abundance. Maybe you can believe that. The last tip I have for shifting your energy is gratitude. Turn your attention to the things going well all the time. Typically, even if a lot of things are going bad, there's probably one thing going good. Turn your attention to that instead of dwelling on the repetitive negative cycle of the things that aren't. Set your tone, set the vibration of the day with gratitude so that you are now on that high flying disc where you're attracting more things to you. So maybe if you don't have the relationship you want, you don't have the money you want, but you are in great health, then focus on that. I feel so good today. Oh my gosh, I'm in the best shape I've ever been in life. Or I'm so glad I'm starting to work out again. I feel so good when I do that. You're just focused on what actually feels good. And then you draw in other things that feel good. And those things are not going to be regulated to health because you're focused on health that day. They're going to be regulated to everything that you are relevant to. It will be related to everything that you are, to everything about that day, because that's your energy, period. So everything that you encounter, your job that day, your spouse that day that you interact with, your friends that day, because I'm focused on the one thing that's going right and I'm using that as my baseline to set how I feel and approach the day, you're going to have an amazing day. And you'll find by the end of the day, some of that stuff that wasn't going well, maybe a little bit better. So step 3 in being the energy that you want to attract. So cultivate a high vibrational lifestyle. How do you do that? Well, one, think about it. Determine, what is your vision? What do you want your life to look like? And then compare it to where you are now. What does it look like? What do you want it to look like compared to where it is now? Like I said before, are you a millionaire but you live in the lack mindset? Do you want a relationship? You want a king but you aren't a queen? You want to be an entrepreneur but you take no action at all to build a business or do anything in that regard? You have to make energetic adjustments. So first, but in order to adjust, you have to understand the vision. What are you actually adjusting? So I would make it a point to determine that. What is it exactly that I want and where am I now? And what type of energetic adjustments do I need to make in how I move day to day to be closer to that version? Because you want to get on that vibration. Albert Einstein has a quote that I love. He says, everything is energy. It can be no other way. Match the frequency of the reality that you want and it must be yours. This is not philosophy, it's physics. I'm going to read that one more time. Everything is energy. It can be no other way. Match the frequency of the reality that you want and it must be yours. This is not philosophy, this is physics. I love that quote and I put it here because it is you, in order to match the frequency of the version of you that you want to be, you have to know who that is. You know what you want. If it's the relationship, what does that feel like to be in that relationship every day? Does it feel free? Does it feel good? Is it passionate? Like whatever it is, determine what that is so that you can determine the frequency you need to be on to match it. Second point under cultivating a high vibrational lifestyle, maximize your time and your presence. If you are trying to cultivate a high vibrational lifestyle, you will want to maximize your time and your presence. Meaning, are you spending time doing things that are not on the frequency of the reality that you want? So let's use the entrepreneurial example. If I want to be a millionaire entrepreneur, am I going to spend the majority of my days lying on my couch watching Netflix? That's not the frequency of a millionaire entrepreneur. That's not what they do. They are not lying around watching Kardashians all day. Is it that you, and I'm not saying you can't watch TV and indulge in the things you want. Absolutely you can, but you are trying to match a frequency. So if that is your goal, what are you doing towards that goal? If you want a relationship, if you want to find your soulmate, your king, your queen, whatever, your partner, for your life partner, if you want to find them, who are you spending your time around? Who are you letting in your space? Are you going out on dates and entertaining texts and phone calls from people who don't match that lifestyle, who don't match that energy? You got to maximize your time. I wouldn't be no more dates with them. No, tell your friends, don't even worry about hooking me up with anybody who is not about that life. Like, pass. I got to maximize my time. I'm not going to spend my time doing that. Maximize your presence. When you're in the presence of people, how are you showing up? Are you showing up like the person who matches the reality that you want? Or are you sitting there with your friends gossiping about the other friends that aren't there and, all that kind of crap? Maximize your time and your presence. The last item under cultivating a high vibrational lifestyle is go to the inner gym. What are your daily rituals? Work out, do your inner work, positive self-talk, carve out time for meditations if that's something that benefits you. Do a workout. When you work out, you release endorphins. That's positive energy. You feel good. That's a level set. It sets a trajectory of feel goodness. Then that means good energy, good thoughts, good energy, good thoughts. Like it's a cycle. So do your inner gym. Go in your prayer closet if you have one. Do journaling. Journal about your things you love, things you're grateful for. Journal about your vision, things that make you feel good. Build a morning playlist that pumps you up. You'd be surprised about the music that we listen to. That's a vibration too. What are the songs that you're listening to saying? What are they perpetuating? What are they talking about? And how often are you listening to that? Every single day? Step 4 in being the energy you want to attract is being the energy. Once you understand what it is you want, you've identified, this is what I want. I've been wanting it for a while. I understand what's keeping me from getting it because now I've been watching my thoughts and I understand what I repetitively think. I'm doing my inner work, my affirmations, my gratitude, the things that I need to do to help me shift my energy and raise my vibration, raise the vibrations of my thoughts. When we're on that path, then we can actually be the energy. What does that look like? That looks like setting the intention. Then you kind of have your sea legs and you can really start school in life, like I like to call it. So I'm big on setting intentions. I do it with the littlest things, like I'm going to meet a friend for lunch. I set an intention. I want this lunch to be magnetic. I want us to have great conversation and connect and have a good time and laugh and, whatever it is I'm after, I set that intention ahead of time. That way my thoughts are already, that's where my vibration is. So when I show up to that lunch, I'm showing up in that space for my friends. And so I'm cultivating that type of space and energy. And now I'm impacting the energy around me because I'm on that high vibration. Another part of being the right energy is authentic connections. Most people want loved ones, friends, family, and a romantic relationship. We want that as humans. And so that's something we want in some way, shape, or form, but we have to be that energy. So if you're in a spot where you either want a relationship or maybe you want to improve a relationship with a friend or a family member, write out somewhere, do it on your notes, on your phone, in your journal, but think through like, what do I want this relationship to be and feel like? What do I want from this friend? I want this friend to be honest. I want them to be loyal. I want them to be, unconditional and supportive. Write those things out and then look at it and see, am I being that? Am I that type of friend? If you've done those other 3 steps consistently, this is the time to fine tune and tweak what you need. Now you have the tools to be able to, if you're looking at that list and you realize I'm not that friend, you now know how to do it because you've healed. You've uprooted limited beliefs. You've changed your thoughts. You can pivot when your thoughts are negative. You know that they're there and you can say, nope, not doing that one anymore. You can shift. And so it's easy for you to look at the list of things that you want in a friend and know, gosh, I'm not being supportive. Like, do I ever call that friend, and before their big moments and be like, girl, I'm so proud of you. Oh my gosh. No, but I want that back. In a relationship, do I want what I'm not giving? As women, we want our men to take care of us and provide and do these things, but are you taking care of him? Not just checking the box of the stuff you're like, I gotta cook dinner, I gotta make the bed, but are you truly taking care of his needs and leaning in to the things he loves and wants and needs from you the way you want him to do you? You're gonna get back what you give. This is the fine tuning where you can look at these aspects of your life that you feel like you're missing things in, determine what's missing, and look at yourself and say, am I this? Am I on the vibration that attracts this from these people, from my family, from my friends, from my romantic relationships, from my employer? Is that how I operate? So that is what I have for you today in terms of being the energy that you want to attract. So we talked about the 4 steps. We talked about identifying your current energy. We talked about shifting your energy, cultivating a high vibrational lifestyle, and actually being the energy you want to attract. If you can adopt these things and consistently do them, you will see a change in your life, guys. If you're new to my YouTube channel and new to the podcast, welcome. I hope that you are vibrating higher now than you were when you came. Please make sure that you pass along my channel or my podcast to anyone that you feel like could benefit from this. Make sure you leave me comments, give my podcast a review. Let me know if you like this content or not. Also, if you haven't already, make sure you follow Zenergy on social media. It's at Zenergy, Zenergy, at Zenergy Group on Facebook and on Insta. If you're listening to this podcast, I will put the YouTube link in the notes in case you wanted to watch this when time permits as well. Remember, you have the power to create the life you desire. Embrace your journey and vibrate higher. Until next time, I wish you all love and light.